Next, in lesson or part 3, we are looking for number of periods in periodic rate. Let's look here at some of these problems. Use your calculator or Excel when you have future value and need to know present value. So we're looking for present value in this first case. So equals present value. And I'm going to show the function so that you know what we've got. The rate, it says, is 0.062 divided by 12. In other words, it's 6.2%, but it's compounded monthly, and so we have to divide by 12. The number of periods is 5 years times 12 months, and the payment, there is no payment. The future value is $23,200. Now, if you notice, the answer is negative $17,209, but I tell you to write it as a positive number. All of these answers will always be positive numbers. So you probably could have made this one a negative number if you like to see your answers as positive numbers. In this case, it tells us you have future value and need to know present value, so equals present value. And it tells us it looks like a regular kind of problem. So we've got a rate is 0.078, time is 2 years, no payment, future value is $9,900. And we have a present value of $8,519.18. Next one, you have present value, you need to know future value. So we're going to equals future value. It's compounded semi-annually this time. So let's look at our problem here. Rate is 0.038. Semi-annually means we have to divide it by 2. 2 years means we have to multiply it by 2. Whatever we divide by in the first blank is the same number we multiply by in the second blank. No payment. And we start out with $20,500. And so we end up with $22,102.97. Oops. Next one. Calculate the compound interest on an investment of $24.30 at 3.2% interest compounded quarterly for 3.25 years. So we're looking for the compounded amount, not the compound interest. Equals future value. When we know the present, let's fill them in. It says compounded quarterly, 0.032 divided by 4. And then number of periods is 3.5 times 4. No payment. And we start out with negative 30, so we end up with $26.95.21. Hannah deposits $1,120 in the savings account at 6.6% compounded semi-annually. What will her balance be in 6 months? Now this one you actually wouldn't need to use Excel because even though it says it's compounded interest, it's really not because you have only one compounding. So equals future value, and we've got 0.066 half a year, and 6 months divided by there's 6 months in half a year, or in other words, it's only one compounding, no payment, and we have $1,120 at the beginning. So we will have $1,156.96 at the end. Next one, calculate the compound interest on an investment of $1,760 at 6.7% compounded quarterly for 12 months. Okay, so equals future value, and we want the compound amount, not the compound interest, the compound amount equals future value, and the rate is 0.067, but it's compounded quarterly, so divide that by 4. The number of periods is 12 months, which is 1 year, times 4 quarters, because there's 4 quarters in a year. The payment is nothing, and the present value is $1,760, so we would end up with $1,880.92. Now, this is the first kind that we have where we do have a payment. Let's look at this question here. It says, find the present value, so equals PV, when we have a payment. So let's look at this problem. The rate is still 0.055. It says compounded yearly, so we don't have to divide or multiply by anything. And this time it says we have a payment. PMT is $195. And if you notice, if we write positive 195, it comes out with negative 526. If we write negative 195, it comes out positive $526.10. Have payment to need to know present value, same kind of problem. Let's do this one. So equals PV, present value, compounded monthly. So we have 0.073 divided by 12. For 4 years times 12. This time the payment, the monthly payment, is, I'm going to put negative $195. And what is the present value? And it comes out to $8,096.10. Next one. Use the equation when you have payment and need to know present value equals present value. Compounded yearly, so 0.059 is the rate for 3 years, and 130, I'm going to put in negative $130 is the payment, and I have $358.14. Now it says we need to know future value, okay? So equals future value. It says 0.064 compounded semi-annually, so I'm going to divide it by 2. For 2 years, so multiply by 2. The payment is $180. The present value isn't given. We're looking for the future value, so it comes out to be $755.30. Now we're looking for the payment in this problem, so equals PMT. Compounded quarterly, so 0.042 divided by 4. Number of periods, 3 years, times 4 quarters in a year. Present value is $500. How much is the payment to end up with $500 3 years from now? $44.56 per quarter.